Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Hannah and my husband and I live in a 200-year-old cottage in Vermont, and we've been renovating, so I have lots of content up on my channel if you want to go back and get caught up and see some of the projects we worked on. And we've been in a bit of a pause for the past couple months, but now we're actually planning a few more projects before the end of the year. Just some smaller scale projects and some really hopefully small scale projects with a large impact. So we're kind of gearing up for that. But last week I shared a DIY kind of home decor video, and I wanted to film another one of those because I've been doing lots of really small projects for home decor, DIY projects, and having a lot of fun doing them. And so I wanted to work on a few more with you and take you along with you while I do that. And I also wanted to show you in the last video our guest bedroom. I'm currently in our guest bedroom, and we did a makeover in this room back in June, but that was a really quick turnover kind of makeover. My mother-in-law was coming to stay with us, and so I wanted the room to just feel really nice for her, and so I made lots of rash decisions, but I've been revisiting it the past month or so and adding a few things, and I'm really happy with how it's looking. So I want to show you that, and then I'll get on with some of the DIY projects as well. And I think I might also show you some of the upcoming projects we're going to be working on as well, because I'm really excited about them and very much looking forward to them. So yeah, let me show you the guest bedroom. So this is our guest bedroom, if you haven't seen it yet. It is, like I said, it was just a really quick kind of makeover, but I have changed a few things. So one thing that I really didn't like was the lamp situation in here. So I had two kind of like porcelain lamps with some brass details, and I didn't like them. I like the base, the lamp base, but I hated the shades. So I decided to get new shades, and I got these from World Market. And I don't think that they are available online anymore, but you might be able to get them in the stores. And I just love, it kind of brings a bit more of a casual vibe to this room with this kind of print here. And then it has like a dark olive running through it. So I think that really complements the red. And so I'm really happy with them. And then I ended up just swapping the lamps. So these are the lamps that we had on our piano. And so the lamps that were on our piano are now up here, and then I moved the ones that were in here down back to our piano, on our piano, and yeah, I'm really happy with that. I think it just a little bit more simpler, and yeah, I think it just feels a little bit better in here. It's a little more of like a casual vibe, and this room was feeling really formal, and I think the last video I was talking about some spaces just feeling a little too formal for me, and I realized that I just need a bit of more of a casual vibe. It's just more my style, so I'm really happy with those. And then I have added some art as well. So I had these prints. So this one was actually in our downstairs bathroom, and I didn't like the matte color. So I added this paper just with I used some like spray adhesive on the mat, and then added the paper and cut around it like this. And I'm going to work on a project similar to this today, so you'll see that process. And then I already had this plate. I just moved it in here, and I'm really happy with that. And I kind of mirrored it on this side of the bed as well. So we have this print. I can't remember exactly. This print was over by our vanity in the guest bed. And then I also had this plate already and just added that up here as well. And then this was the painting that was in our main bedroom above our vanity, and I decided to hang it in the middle here just from the curtain rod up there, just with some string. And I think that adds something really nice as well. And then what else is new? This bedding we already had, but I really wanted to add more greens and blues. So I thought I would just use this for now. And I think I like this so much. I think this blue really changes it up a little bit. And then I already had all of this basically. I made this pillow from the leftover fabric from our drapes in our main bedroom, and then I had these IKEA velvet pillows for a very long time. And again, just pulling in more of those greens. So yeah, this is what it's looking like over here. Really feeling much more. It really feels much more like myself, and I think it's a better strike of that balance between being little bit fancy, a little bit formal, but then also pretty casual. So yeah, I'm really happy with it. And then over here is our little vanity in our guest bed. And this is actually my great-grandmother's sewing machine cabinet with a sewing machine inside. And so we're using it as a little vanity. And I want to change this slip cover that I made for this chair, but I'm kind of waiting. I'm trying to like make a lot of decisions at once right now, so I need to kind of just wait a little bit and think through it a little more. But I got this quilt piece at a antique shop, and then I put it in this frame that I painted, and I'm gonna actually switch this up today. It doesn't feel quite right, but I love this quilt piece so much. And then I also did a little DIY with this lamp. I got this lamp at an antique shop many years ago for like $7 or something, and it didn't have this bottom base part. So it was super top heavy, and it basically would not stand up on its own. So I just got this at a craft store. I think I got this at Joann's at the beginning of the year with the intention of doing this project. And I just screwed it in to the original lamp base itself. And then painted the whole thing in Masquerade Light from Little Green. And then I made another one of these embroidered pillowcase lampshades, and it's a really sweet lamp, and it's actually not going to stay here. It's going to go in our main closet. And I'll talk to you more about that later. Yeah, here's that side of our bedroom. And then coming over here, I did a little bit of a revamp as well, just some small things. I actually had this print as well. I think it matches those ones. I got them at an antique shop earlier this year and just framed it, or it was already framed, but I actually hung it up. I used to have one like kind of like leaning right here. I really love that. And then this like brass wreath I got at an antique, actually it was a barn sale. And it's been in our living room, but I feel like it just was in a place where it didn't really shine very well. So I've kind of just put it here for now. I don't think it's going to stay here, but I do like it. And then I decided to frame one of my paintings, and I already had this frame, and again, I added more of that decorative paper. It's Italian Florentine paper on the back, and then popped my painting in here. Yeah, I'm really happy with that, and I think it looks really nice. Has a little collection over in that corner. So for my first little DIY project here, I'm gonna work on the framed quilt piece and actually just swap the frame. I want to use a different frame and maybe try to do something else with this one. It just didn't feel quite right above the vanity over there, so I'm going to swap it. I'm going to try to put it in this frame that I've had kind of just like floating around for way too long, and I think the green, it's kind of like a sagey green, will complement that quilt piece really nicely and hopefully make it stand out a little bit more. And then I'll just find a different place for this bird print as well. Here's the quilted piece. Still doesn't feel quite right over here. I've tried like actually a couple different pieces of art over in this corner now, and nothing feels quite right. So I'm gonna leave this for now. I'm happy to finally have this frame put to use, so I'm just gonna leave it. And I feel like when I do change this cover, I think the fabric that I'll go for will have much more of a different vibe that'll hopefully kind of like tie into this quilted piece a little bit better. For my birthday this past year, my family gifted me this little photo printer, which comes in handy very often. So what I'm going to actually do right now is I'm going to print out a botanical print that I found online and then use that in one of the frames. So all you have to do is basically you download the app, and then you go into the app and connect via Bluetooth to this little printer, and then you hit print, and then it just prints for you. So it's very simple to use. I have to do it from my phone, and I'm filming on my phone, so bear with me one moment. I'll be back with my printed botanical, my botanical print. Here's the print. These are primulas, so one of my favorite flowers. I don't have them in my garden, but hopefully next year. I've just been playing around with some of the frames that I have laying around, and I have this one, and a couple weeks ago I just used that spray adhesive again to adhere this paper to the back of the frame. And so I kind of like this. I think it kind of goes together well. I have this frame that I don't really like. I think I got it at an antique shop for the print that was in it, but I didn't actually like the frame very much, so I'm not sure. Maybe I'll paint it, or maybe I also like the idea of doing like a fabric wrapped frame and mat. So I have a little bit of this fabric left over from last week, but I don't think it's enough to actually cover the whole frame. So I'm not sure about that. And then I did put the bird in this blue frame, and I'm also not sure about it. So I think I need to just think about it a little bit, and then I'll come back to this later. So I'm taking a bit of a pause. It's Saturday morning now. I'm taking a bit of a pause from working on the frames to work on some of these quilted bows. I made this one like a month ago or so, and it's just like a big giant quilted bow. And I love these for obviously like Christmas decor, but also just any time of the year. They're really sweet. And I want to make 2 more to hang from the entertainment armoire. So I'm working on that right now. I'll leave the tutorial that I follow in the description box below, and that one is specifically just for like a gingham bow, so it doesn't have the quilted component to it, but all you would need to do is just sew together a quilted piece and then use that as your fabric base. And it's just very simple, 3 parts. It's this the bow part, it's like a big tube, and then the tail part as well, and then you connect them with a little centerpiece that is quilted for a knot. So yeah, it's definitely not a easy DIY or like a quick DIY. It's not too hard, but it's not quick. So I've probably already spent close to 10 hours working on this. So it's definitely time intensive. But if you do want to make these, I guess November is a really good time if you wanted them for Christmas decorations. November is a really good time to work on them because it's getting dark and there's less daylight, and tomorrow we're changing the clocks back, so it'd be even less daylight in the afternoon. So it just gets dark, and it's nice to have something to work on in the evenings. And yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna keep working on these and finish up. I'll just finish up the one that I'm currently working on, and then I have one more that I just need to put together basically. And then those will be done. It's Sunday morning now, and I'm going to work on one last little DIY project for this video. Yesterday I went out and foraged some pine cones, and I want to make a little pine cone wreath. I've seen a few of these on Pinterest, and I think it would just be a really cute decoration to transition us from fall into winter. And I have this leftover wreath form that I'm going to try to use. I might try to clip off these prongs here, but basically I'm just going to use some wire and maybe hot glue. I've seen some hot glue ones as well, to attach the pine cones to the wreath, and then I'll add a ribbon at the end. So let me see if I can either make these work or just pop, maybe I can bend them. I just think they're gonna get in the way of the pine cones, so I'm gonna see what I can do about that. There you go. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue this and remove the rest of them. There's lots of sap on these pine cones. It's making my hands super sticky. I'm going to wear gloves for this. But yeah, I have the wreath form here. It's just a small one, but I think you could definitely make this larger. You can make this any size, but I'm gonna just basically take some wire and cut a piece that is long enough to kind of wrap around the bottom of the pine cone tightly and securely, and then wrap it around the wreath frame as well, and then just go all the way around. And that's it. And I'm not sure like which direction, which orientation I want the pine cones to go. I kind of want it to just be like all different orientations. But we'll see. That's kind of the beauty of working on like DIY projects like this, where it's just like you kind of can go into it without like a plan that you're gonna, like a play-by-play essentially. You can kind of try something, and if it doesn't work, try something else, and that's just really nice. I'm very curious to know how everyone's fall is going. We are having such a lovely fall here, and it's been raining so much. And it's just been such a good mood change from, again, a very dry summer. And I'm kind of like, I've been thinking about, because every year I feel like on social media we have these conversations about when it's appropriate to start decorating for Christmas, and like talking about Christmas. And the thing that I find is like when you get older, you just like, time moves much faster. And so like, I would normally start decorating for Christmas after November, or after Thanksgiving at the end of November, but I did grow up in a household where my mom decorated for Christmas basically before Halloween. So I'm I'm used to both ways, but I just think like it's 4 weeks until Thanksgiving, and 4 weeks flies by. 4 weeks is like nothing. So I'm definitely like feeling like I just need to start decorating earlier. But I also think that there's something to be said for doing like transitional decorating, where you kind of just slowly over the month of November add Christmas decorations instead of doing it all at once. And I kind of like this because then you can like still enjoy the fall decor elements that you have, because I love fall. I think winter and fall are tied for my favorite seasons, and so like I don't want to wish away all the cheery vibes that I've just cultivated over the last few months and like just go do away with it, and then all of a sudden it's just Christmas. But I do understand like part of the reason why I'm sharing on social media and YouTube is that I like want to inspire people, and for you to be inspired, it's gonna take more than just sharing with you the weekend of Thanksgiving. Because if I'm sharing something that you want to recreate in your own home, you need time to like have the inspiration, think through it, get the supplies that you need to do whatever it is, and actually execute it. So like it does make sense for content creators to be sharing Christmas content earlier than most people would. So that's part of it too. But I would love to know when you like to start decorating for the holidays. I have kind of been, taking this pause with big renovation projects, and I've been able to garner lots of creative energy, and I've been loving working on these little DIY projects. It's definitely meant that I've had a lot of like mental space to think about like larger scale DIY or renovation projects. So we are doing some things between now and basically the end of November. And so I have that to think about too. But I do want to make this Christmas really special. I feel like I've said a million times now, but we were working on our mudroom project and it really took over our lives. I feel like that can never be conveyed online. Like I'm just like, this is our first house, this is our first renovation projects, and I've watched like home renovation content. I watched HGTV when I was a kid. Like it just does not come across the actual extent to which a renovation disrupts your life and how difficult it can really make it. And obviously it is worth it. And, you know, it's definitely a privilege to be able to renovate, but it still does take over your life and really impact your day-to-day living. So I just feel like last year, and I had something really big going on at work as well. So last year was just not the best year for like doing my, you know, the things that make me like extremely happy, like just doing these small scale DIYs and decorating for Christmas and spending cozy moments at home. So this year I really want to focus on that. Okay, so I am attaching these and they're very loose on here. So I think I might get out the hot glue gun and just start adding a little bit of glue behind here just to hold it in place. And then I can keep going around the entire wreath form. So pause for a minute, let me go get my hot glue gun. I hung the bows from the doors of the entertainment armoire yesterday, and I'm really loving how they're looking. I think that they add such a special festive touch. Feels very special in here. When I made the first one a month ago, I tried hanging it from here and I just realized that I really needed two of them. So that's why I made two matching ones. And yeah, I'm really happy with this. I think this is a nice little start to decorating for the holidays. And I have a very cozy pup over here. Oh, she's just snoozing. Just snoozing. Okay, let me show you the wreath. I decided to hang it here for now, but I might move it. I don't know, but I really like it there. And actually right now we moved the study around. So now we have the sofa back over here. I just was planning on doing another tabletop Christmas tree on this table. I did that last year and really liked it. So this seems like a better arrangement for that, but we definitely don't like this setup as much as we like the other one. But it is kind of hard because the other one really blocks off the walkway and it makes it a bit hard to move around in the room. But yeah, I just don't like this arrangement as much, but I think we might leave it like this just for the holiday season because yeah, I just think having the tree on the table on this side is better than we had the table back here behind the sofa. I think it's not going to stand out as much. So we'll see. Just going to play around with it and see what we like. I'm going to wait to make a decision on the frames. I really hope that those fabrics would work, but since I'm basically permanently gluing the fabric to the frames or the mats, I want to kind of make sure that I'm 100% sure that's what I want to do. So I'm going to hold off on that, but I did show you the frames that I did add the paper to, and what I will do is leave a link to the tutorial that I followed for those in the description box. So if you want to make one yourself, you could just head to that tutorial and follow those instructions. And I'll also link some of those papers, those like kind of Italian Florentine papers in the description box as well if you want to add a paper like that. I get them from usually one specific seller on Etsy, so I will link those below. And yeah, I'm going to leave you here for this week. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me for these cozy DIYs, a little bit getting into the festive spirit, and I will see you next week.